When Gossip of the City and Shadroom Hollywood Unlocked both published exclusive insider information implying Chrissy had been planning, the websites went into overdrive. She never intended to wed Jim just to use him, and as part of a financial departure strategy, Dubai purchases a months-long vacation. Then the fake audio leak, which showed a voicemail that Chrissy allegedly left for her cousin. Let them talk. I owe no one anything. I did what I could. Jim said nothing. But this woman was the perfect example of treachery, snatching 7 mailers to turn over admirers and moving like a ghost from power. When he shared a picture, fans went crazy. A black screen or a Drake song. Putting more fuel to the fire, streaming sites like Spotify stepped in and added Ballon to their Betrayed Vibes playlist. And Jim's villain plot is now scheduled to release a disc album called Devon. After Chrissy broke into the studio, fake wedding invites with the word cancelled imprinted on Chrissy's face were displayed on Instagram pages featuring TikTokers' skits. And the most ridiculous thing is this. Though when hundreds of supporters signed the organization's petition demanding that Chrissy repay it, it quickly gained traction since many felt deceived and wanted justice. Jim Zell wasn't the only one. The public suffered as a result, and with every people thought they had seen the worst final as the dust began to clear. A minute of silence added to the mythology of Chrissy's betrayal. A surprise struck like a ton of bricks late at night in a folder named Proof She Wasn't Tonely. An anonymous Dropbox link started circulating on Reddit, Twitter, and Discord. Additionally, it contains screenshots of bank transfers and audio recordings. But the main bomb is an extensive NDA. Signed Cameron, who no one had expected, and Victory Lampkin. Yes, its own general is dipped by Mr. Killaham, the person who built with Jim, bled Harlem with him, performed with him, and as per the agreement, he received $450,000 from an LLC that has not been recognized. The same thing makes the internet go nuts. One that has to do with Chrissy's foreign account. Hold on. Cameron knew it. The inside job diped is finished. After Cam and Jim stopped going together months ago, people started to make connections. There were no collaborations, concerts, or shoutouts. However, all of a sudden, given that Chrissy didn't just shatter, everything makes sense. She turned the tables on the one man Jim didn't expect, breaking his circle. However, something goes wrong at this point since one of the voice notes that was released is Chrissy is speaking. I took it because he never gave me what I deserved. While Jim waited, Cam promised to keep him occupied. What distracted them? Next came the last and biggest dip, not yet, as well as a low-resolution image that was obviously obtained without their consent. Chrissy Cameron sits next to a third person at a rooftop bar in Dubai. Reyes, Angela, who is he? Alive and happy. Supporters remained still. They were all in on it the entire time. Don't tell me that. Like they were having cocktails to catch up. Jim was just the object of the movement. Throughout this long-running fraud, Jim eventually claims to be back in the studio with bloodshot eyes and the missing laptop just as the internet erupts. On Instagram, there is just a single picture devoid of any text or emoticons. Zoom in to see 4 words written in thick red ink on a yellow sticky note in the table's corner. The screen became black after you missed one file. No sound, no caption, and no follow-up are present. Being quiet isn't always, however, because this drama is far from over. The entire internet is awake right now, and fans are glued to the screen. The internet disaster, the revelations, the betrayal. That is, the $7 million that merely vanished as though it had never occurred. Jim's heart was in shatters. He loses trust after the circle is destroyed. Chrissy and Dot. She wasn't alone when she left. She left Cameron as a backup in this game. Angela and Shadows, a squad of quiet. Thus, we need to ask now. Was this insane? All the time. Contained in the plan, outperforming the whole team from the gym? Or did she just pick up the shattered bits of the gym 10 years ago? Some of you have already typed justifications. Let's face it. Jim, of course, had his share of dirt. But Chrissy failed to delete the genuine question, which is, yes, Sue. Tell me about the villain here and their marks without sugarcoating or filtering. And if you believe that this chapter was crazy, simply wait till the file is revealed. The Jim one was ridiculed because of claims that it not only burns Chrissy but also flips the entire plot. Because of this narrative, feel free to hit it like your mouth drops to the floor at least once. Take that subscriber and smash it. It is merely warming up. Additionally, keep in mind that Belle might not want you to see them in the next episode. I'll see you in part 2 when the truth is revealed. Don't just make the scars worse. Shadroom, Hollywood Unlocked, and Gossip of the City sent the bloggers into overdrive, both disclosing exclusive insider knowledge that implied Chrissy had been scheming. She had no intention of getting married. The months-long holiday that the Dubai purchases were part of a financial departure scheme, and Jim only did it to exploit him. The fake audio leak that included a voicemail that Chrissy allegedly left for her cousin came next. Allow them to talk. I owe no one anything. I did what I could. Jim said nothing, but this woman was the perfect example of treachery, snatching 7 mailers to turn over admirers and moving like a ghost from power. Every time he posted a black screen or a Drake lyric, fans went berserk, putting more fuel to the fire. Now that Jim's villain plot is about to be released as a disc record, called Devon, streaming providers like Spotify have stepped in and added Ballin to its playlist of betrayed vibes. After Chrissy broke into the studio, fake wedding invites with the word cancelled imprinted on Chrissy's face were displayed on Instagram pages featuring TikTokers' skits. And the most ridiculous is this. When hundreds of supporters signed the organization's petition demanding that Chrissy repay the money, it quickly gained traction because many felt deceived and wanted justice. Jim Zell wasn't the only one. It was the public suffering, and as the dust began to clear, they thought they had seen the worst outcome. A minute of silence added to the mythology of Chrissy's betrayal. A surprise struck late at night like a ton off bricks. In a folder named Proof, She Wasn't Tomley, an anonymous Dropbox link started circulating on Reddit, Twitter, and Discord. Additionally, it contains screenshots of bank transfers and audio recordings. But the primary bomb is Anno 1 expected Chrissy Lampkin and Cameron to sign a full NDA. Yes, its own general is dipped by Mr. Killaham. The person who worked with Jim on the construction, performed with him, bled Harlem with him, and he received $450,000 from an unnamed LLC, per the agreement. The same thing makes the internet go nuts. One that has to do with Chrissy's foreign account. Hold on, Cameron knew. The interior job depot is finished. After Cam and Jim stopped going together months ago, people started to make connections. There were no collaborations, concerts, or shoutouts. However, everything immediately makes sense because Chrissy didn't just take a break. She turned the tables on the one man Jim didn't expect, breaking his circle. However, this is when things go wrong, since Chrissy appears on the speaker in one of the voice notes that was leaked. I took it because he never gave me what I deserved. While Jim waited, Cam promised to keep him occupied. What distracted them? Then came the last, biggest plunge yet. Additionally, a low-quality image that was obviously obtained without their consent. Chrissy Cameron sits next to a third person at a rooftop bar in Dubai. Yes, Angela Reyes is still alive and happy. Supporters remain still. They were all in on it the entire time. Don't tell me that. Like they were having cocktails to catch up. In this long-running swindle, Jim was only the piece being moved across the board. However, as the after the internet erupts, Jim eventually states that he is back in the studio, clutching the missing laptop in his bloodshot eyes. On Instagram, there is just a single picture devoid of any text or emoticons. Examine the yellow sticky note located at the corner. 04 phrases scrolled in thick red ink on the table. The screen became black after you missed one file. No sound, no caption, and no follow-up are present. Not all silence is meaningless. However, right fans are glued to the TV, and the entire internet is awake right now, because this drama is far from over. Betrayal, the revelations, the online meltdown, the $7 million. After all, that just vanished as if it had never occurred. Jim's heart was broken. He loses trust after the circle is destroyed. Chrissy and Dot. She wasn't alone when she left. She left Cameron as a backup in this game, Angela, and Shadows, a squad of quiet. Thus, we need to ask now. Did she just pick up the Jim last, or was this insane always part of the pattern, outperforming the whole group? 10 years ago, broken pieces. Some of you have already typed justifications. Let's face it. Jim, of course, had his share of dirt. But the real question is, Sue, would you please tell me about the villain in their marks without sugarcoating or filtering? If you think this chapter was weird, just wait till the file is exposed. Chrissy forgot to take down the Jim one that was made fun of because there were rumors that it not only burned her but also reversed the entire script. Because of this narrative, feel free to hit it like your mouth drops to the floor, at least once. Take that subscriber and smash it. It is merely warming up. Additionally, keep in mind the bell because you might not want to see them in the next episode. I'll see you in part 2 when the truth is revealed. Don't just make the scars worse. I had no intention of going to be silent. However, I have learnt that Chrissy Lampkin committed a betrayal of the utmost magnitude against Jim Fallon, not just any wrongdoing. Millions were snatched from him by the woman he intended to call his wife. They were not lost or misplaced. The fact that Jim Ellen put everything together is the worst part. He is now acting irrationally, tossing chairs, bashing walls, and pacing like a hurricane about to hit. This isn't a reality TV drama, Chrissy. The setup is straightforward, and all she left behind was a text message that was devoid of tears and an explanation. The fact that she couldn't accomplish this on her own is the most astounding thing. A member of Jim's inner circle helped her organize things. It's accurate. When it comes to money, blood isn't thicker than paper, and when you discover where your phone went, you're going to fling it across the room, no cap. Don't cheat. Imagine Jim waking up at 2 in the morning and pacing his flat, realizing that everything in your life was a trap and that this rabbit hole is deeper than you thought. The TV, ironically playing Old Love, is the sole source of light in the room. I'm sweating, red-eyed, and clenching and unclenching my fists when Jim walks to the safe following a terrible joke about Chrissy departing without a sound. This is the turning point. Sign indicating goodbye. Everything is empty when he opens it. It's not only that the funds are absent, all of the contracts, USB drives, and cash reserves have vanished. A single gold bracelet, however, is placed in the middle like a stamp for one thing. Chrissy's signature, as though she were saying, "Yeah, I did it." Jim falls to his knees, gasping for air, the type you get right before losing a hand, and texts her. Straight to voicemail. You want to know what was on those USBs that went missing? Tour earnings, an overflowing cryptocurrency wallet, and the loan papers for a deal he had made to launch a $2 TV show in his name, which gave him access to 5 million digital. Now you know gut punches. Wadit, however, deteriorates. A message that says, "Check your email, don't call me," appears on Jim's vibrating phone 2 hours later. He accesses his email. This shaky video footage, which looks to be from a hotel hallway security camera, shows Chrissy slipping into a hotel 3 days ago while wearing a black hoodie. One of Jim's Day One Dipset brothers is Jim, initially believes his eyes are real because of his realists. When you see him in a Miami suite with someone else pausing and zooming in, you won't believe it. No, it's not Zeke. However, a distinct 4 hours later, he is seen leaving with Chrissy, who is carrying a large backpack, Zeke, and a heavy folder. Jim's phone drops out of his hand and strikes the floor as Chrissy laughs, shattering trust. Like glass. Money isn't the issue here. No, since it's betrayal, things will only become worse. The woman he trusted chose a suitcase over the boss who gave her his whole heart, and its family. The identities of a third party, Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones, are easily observable in this legal document snapshot. The social media investigators did not wait, despite the fact that the confidential seal is a little hazy. After going full CSI, they discovered that Chrissy's transportation was Angela Reyes. Nobody anticipated her arrival. After May's death in 2012, she vanished from Chrissy's life as though she had never existed. Jim crossed the line, according to farewell posts and drama, but the full truth was never revealed. He left no legacy. Until today, a voice was the bomb that exploded the internet in tweet 4. The note becomes distorted but real, and Chrissy's voice bursts into tears. He doesn't remember what he did to Angela, but he thinks I'm chilly. However, I never forgot, I just waited for the appropriate time. Then I realized that this was not about you. Millions of dollars were spent on this protracted and cold type of revenge. Chrissy chose to strike where it would hurt his soul to make him feel bad rather than stealing to hurt his wallet, deserted, as defenseless as she had been. However, Angela's background is still being processed by fans. Another tape, snaps, and this studio-produced one, security video screen grab from a week before Jim's popular Instagram Live, depicts Chrissy coming in by herself and leaving with a laptop. Jim's main vault was just any laptop. His folders, contract files, and unpublished music were all gone. This is the incredible access that was granted, and the studio log shows that Frocasse's keycard was used to unlock the door once more. But the internet isn't working right now. Team Chrissy, Team Chrissy. The comment sections have become battlegrounds, and the campaign against Dr. Jim is undoubtedly a war. At last, she defended your Everyone is angry with her since she spent years planning this. She simply altered the rules when Jim initially violated them. That's treason, Zicky, and you're in charge. I assumed that was the end of it. However, when Jim's mom, Mama Jones, goes live on Instagram, her hair wrapped in a robe, she delivers the sermon while the Bible is open on the table. I warned my youngster 10 years ago not to entrust his money to a lady. He was in love, though her voice cracks as she says, "Love makes fools." She gazes at the camera. The perpetrator sat in my home, winced in my direction, told a blatant falsehood, and then pointed at the television without blinking. God doesn't fool around with stolen blessings. So now look broke and ashamed. You're seeing things that don't belong to you. Come back, Chrissy. The media is now making crazy speculations. The feeds are overrun with blogs. And TMJZ posts a phony title. According to a source, the Feminites step in if she did this, and non-profit funds were mismanaged. Forget reality TV if people associate this with a jail foundation. Doc, it's just turned into a felony. Additionally, now is federal time. If you don't believe that things can get worse. A reputable and rarefied ghostwriter in the music business. It's not who you think. Chrissy actually wired those 7 mowers, and when it drops, it's going to get messy, for leaked invoices tweeted. Incredibly unsightly. There is no name, no proof, just tension. And then radio silence as Chrissy deletes all accounts and shuts down the Jim social for 3 days in a row. As the excitement wanes, the quiet Chrissy makes a brief appearance in a single post featuring a picture of her hand with red nails clutching a pen and a stack of money. There is no apology or statement, just fire, she says in a full view caption. Louder than the drama, and fans are glued to their updated feeds. Identities, no rejection, just a warning. Don't blame the wolf for teaching the snakes how to hiss. Boom, another grenade. Dropped 1 million likes in 1 hour. Then came the real surprise, a mysterious Twitter thread that exposed an anonymous user with just 1 follower. You all think Chrissy just snapped this, but it's been building since 2012. People start to question, who the hell is Angela? After seeing a grainy Wind 3 Jim Jones, Chrissy Lampkin and Angela Riazaron, a court doc. Followed by post after post that looks like a Netflix documentary in written form. Angela, Chrissy's best friend at the time, vanished without posting or bidding farewell. And now Chrissy's voice, allegedly from a leaked voicemail, is revealed to old school followers. I took the money not to hurt him, so it's not simply about stealing anymore. Retaliation wasn't about the millions. It was about breaking Jim. It went viral because he never apologized for what he had done to her, his pride, his authority, his reputation where it hurt him the most. According to leaked security footage, Chrissy enters Jim's private studio and departs just before things could go much more sour. Frightful, Zicky's keycard was used to enter the door of his laptop, which included unpublished music contracts and a crypto wallet. 40 minutes later, yes, Jim's own pet the streets are now picking sides in this open fight, canceling Chrissy trends more firmly, and, at last, Mama Jones goes live without any flash or glamour. I'm angry because that woman ate at my table, smiled in my face, and lied to my son. She also touched blood if she touched that foundation money, which makes, she says, everyone is shaken, including myself. Christy, may God bless you.